Can you put that aside? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to show them the silver filling. We have a little machine like this, but a little bit more primitive than this. Okay, a little smaller one. And we have a little pallet like this. Okay.
It's like a fourth of that.
A fourth of that is very.
One button only.
One button only. and then what it does is we have something like this, and then what you do is you push that button. You push it in. You activate it, and then you hear the little membrane in the middle, and you push it, and then now they mix it together. Okay, the material. Okay, and then what you do is you put it in here. Can you plug it for me? And then when you plug it, and then here we go.
It's not long enough.
Okay, now, and then what we do is, once you activate it by pushing down the membrane, and then you have something like this. You see that? Everybody see it?
Yeah.
And then you push it in like this, okay? And then you push it like this, okay? It's like a clamp, okay? Once you push it like that, and then you push it. And then you hear the noise. What it does is shaking it. It's shaking, so it mixing the particle on one end and mixing the liquid on the other end. They still have a little bit of mercury inside. So they mix it, and then when it's done, you take it out, okay? And then we have something like this over there. You see that little, they call a adapter dish, okay? And then we unscrew this. You guys see this? Unscrew, right? And then in here, if you push it out, there's a little pallet like this. And they mix it, it's like a silver filling. Okay? It look like this. You guys see that? Okay, and then what we do with this is, in the tray that we're setting up, we call a carrier. And then we have plugger. Okay? The carrier is like this. And then, so you push it in like that. You push it in like this. You see what I'm doing? I push it down to get inside the carrier. And then you hand it to me, and then I go on the tooth. I push it out like that. Okay, let me repeat again. So I push it inside the carrier. You guys can see. You guys can stand up here so you can see. Then you give me a plugger, or the condenser is in my hand, and then I use this to pack it in. Same thing like I do composite. Remember the composite? I have a plugger. I pack it in. After I pack it in, what do I have to shape it? Like a plastic instrument. But in the instrument I use for the silver filling, they call it a carver. It looks like a carver. Okay, that's all. But once you help me one, you'll know exactly what it is. It's very simple. So cavity preparation, don't need to worry about etching, don't need to worry about bonding agent. You just activate. I said, I'm ready. You activate this. So we have two assistants. I said, okay, I'm ready. So the other assistant activated, put in the machine, push the button, it's shake. You take it out, you put it inside here, and then you put in the carrier, you hand it to the assistant give it to me. Okay, so it's quicker that way. And then I pack it in, and then you give me the plugger. The plugger or the condenser, they have two sides. One big one and one small one. It looks like a plugger where you pack it in. It's like a packer. Okay? And then once I done that, then you give me a carver. A carver look like this. It look like a beaver tail. Okay? And then you carve it to the shape of the tooth. After that, what do? You give me the yes. Oh.
It takes so long.
What's that?
I'm probably tired.
No, don't worry. They get in there. Okay.
It's on video.
And then what we do is the beaver tail, we use that to carve. And then once you got down to the shape that we want, and then what we do? We give articulate paper, and then have you bite down and check the interference, like what we did in the composite. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
So easy. After we do a cavity prep, after we numb the patient, what do we do?
To isolate. then I'll ask like you prep, cavity prep.
Right, and then after the cavity prep, and then you start to activate the filling, and then you put in the carrier, and then you hand it to me. I put in the tube, and then I use a condenser. I pack it in, and then I use a carver to shape it, and then I use an articulate paper to check the interference. Done. That quick. That's for silver filling. That's all you need to know. Later on, I'm going to show you this burnisher. It looked like this to make it smooth. It looked like a round point like this, a burnisher. Okay, but the burnisher is sometimes I use, sometimes I don't. So once you see me doing it, it's very easy. Okay, okay. Any question about the silver filling and white filling? Very easy, right?
You don't use the light?
What's that?
You don't use the light?
No, the light is only for a bonding agent and curing for white filling. The silver filling is set by itself. After the silver filling, it take about, oh, by the way, after we done the silver filling, to tell the patient, do not eat for at least 2-3 hours. Because it takes that long to set. That's why I like the white filling. It's set instantly, 20 seconds. Okay? So that, and then another thing too, the next thing, on the next meeting, I briefly mentioned this to you. They call it Topfermeyer. Okay, this is a little hole like this. Kelly, can you give me, where's Jeremy? Can you ask her to get me the matrix band? Yeah, the matrix band. So if you do a 2 surface filling, and then we need to put a filling in, you need to have some matrix that we put around the tooth. So by putting a matrix around the tooth, now you have something like, it's like when you do concrete. So you have to put some sort of matrix, and then before you put concrete in, right? So same thing with the matrix band. This one is a holder, and there's a matrix band we put on top here, and then we put around the tooth, and we tight it up. And that, yeah, just one, yeah. The matrix band look like this, okay? Look like this, okay? And then you hand it to me, and then usually you hand it to me, and then I do it myself, okay? Because, and then once you see me doing a couple times, and then you can help me to do it ahead for me. And then I tie it up, and then I use this to, this can circle, it gets smaller when I tie it up around the tooth. Every time I use the band, or the holder here, the band holder, or every time I have to use a wedge. It's a wooden wedge that I put right next to this to hold it in place. When you see once, you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, there's a wedge, okay? So that is the time when we do 2 surface filling, 2 or 3 surface filling. Now, same thing with composite. For 2 or 3 surface composite, we do the same. Okay, we use this. The reason why you don't see that on Catherine, because there's only 1 surface filling. It's on Chewy surface, they have all the wall. We don't need a matrix. Does that make sense? Any question before I go on to the surgery? Okay. Shut up, Rin. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay. They enjoy this.